Faust, Part 1. Prelude in the theater. We join the director, the dramatic poet, and the clown. Director. You two, that often stood by me in former times of trouble, say, what are the chances for our play if we perform in Germany? To please crowds is what I desire most, for they not only live, but let live too. The boards are up, and one sees post by post, and everyone expects a feast from you. I see them sit there with wide open eyes, relaxed and hoping for a great surprise. I know quite well how people are impressed, but I have never been in such a spot. Well, they are not accustomed to the best. They certainly have read a lot. How go about it is what will seem new, significant and pleasing to them too. Of course, I like to see the crowded lanes, when streams of people rush to our place, and with tremendous and recurrent pains, press eager through the narrow gate of grace. When it is day, not even 4, they fight and push each other, coax and vex, and, as in famine time, for bread at baker's door, to get a ticket, almost break their necks. This wonder works upon such different men, the poet only. Friend, do it again. The poet. Don't speak to me of crowds at whose mere sight the spirit flees us, that you would confine the surging rabble that draws us with might, to compromise our every great design. Lead me to heaven's silence, whose delight the poet only feels. Let love combine with friendship to create and nurse, with God-like hands the gift of verse. What deep in our breast was thus inspired, what shy lips babbled in a quiet hour, clumsy perhaps, and rarely as desired, is swallowed by a savage moment's power, and years may pass before it has acquired its perfect form and opens like a flower. Glitter is coined to meet the moment's rage. The genuine lives on from age to age. The clown. From age to age? What silly, fruitless chat. Posterity, if I would talk of that. Who would amuse the folks today? That's what they want. Give them their fare. The presence of a decent lad out there amounts to something, I should say, who knows the art of pleasant self-expression need not resent the popular decree. He thrives on widespread appreciation and moves the mass more certainly. So be exemplary in every fashion. Give rein to many-throated fantasy, to reason, thought, and sentiment and passion. But mark it well, not with foolery. The director. Above all, let us have a lot of action. They want a show that gives them satisfaction. The more you enact before their eyes, the greater is your popular acclaim. And if the crowd can gape in dumb surprise, you gain a celebrated name. The mass is overwhelmed only by masses. Each likes some part of what has been presented. He that gives much gives something to all classes, and everybody will go home contented. You have a piece, give it in pieces then. Write a rag out, you have a pen. It's easy to invent and easy to enroll. What good is it if you construct a whole? The public takes it all apart again. The poet. You do not feel how bad it is to please the rabble, how artists spurn such craft and cheap applause. The manner of the hacks that dabble has furnished you, I see, with laws. The director. I am not hurt by your invective. A man who wants to be effective must first make sure his tools are good. You are like one who would split moldy wood. Do not forget for whom you write. They come when they are bored at night, or gorged on roast and relish, spice and capers, and, this is the most wretched plight, some come right after having read the papers. They come to us distracted as to a masquerade, propelled by nothing but curiosity. Their dresses and their jewels the ladies would parade and act without a salary. Why do you dream on your poetic height? Look at your patrons without awe. What gives a crowded house delight? One half is cold, one half is raw. After the play, one hopes to play at cards, another for an orgy in a harlot's bed. With such an aim, you silly bards, why plague the muses? Go ahead. Simply give more and always something more that never fails, and add some dark illusion. Try only to create confusion. To satisfy men is a chore. What seizes you, in ecstasy or pain? The poet. Go hence and seek yourself another slave. The noblest right the poet ought to waive, the right of man that nature granted him, and waste it frivolously for your gain? How does he move all hearts, or reign over the elements like cherubim? Is it not, streaming forth, the concord of his art that carries back the world into his heart, when nature forces the unending thread upon her spindle an indifferent tread, when all the living lack the least rapport, each playing his disgruntled part, who scans the selfsame lines as they unroll, bestowing life and quickening rhythmic motion? Who calls each single voice to celebrate the whole, so all may blend in musical devotion? Who creates tempests to show passion's powers, the last red clouds to grace the mind's repose? Who scatters all the spring's most fragrant flowers, wherever his beloved goes? Who twines green leaves, worthless as common clods, to wreaths of honor that always stay fresh? Secures Olympus and unites the gods. The strength of man in poets become flesh. The clown. Then use your fair strength skillfully, the business of poetry. Conduct as if it were a love affair. One meets by chance, one feels one's way, stays there, and by one is entangled. Happiness grows, and then it is mangled. First rapture comes, then grief and care advance. Before you know what happened, it is a long romance. Give us a play with such emotion. Reach into life, it is a teeming ocean, and all live in it. Not many know it well, and where you seize it, it exerts a spell. In motley pictures, little clarity, much error, and a spark of verity. I tell you, it is brews like these that never fail to edify and please. The flowers of our youth will come to read and hear whatever you may be revealing, and every tender mind will come to feed upon your work its melancholy feeling. One thrills to this, one finds that in your art, each sees precisely what is in his heart. The young are still prepared to weep or show delight. They still respect your verve and laugh at dream-like pranks. Those who have ceased to grow find nothing right. Those who are growing still will not spare thanks. The poet. Then give me back, my friend, the times, when I myself was also growing, and when a well of rushing rhymes renewed itself as if it was flowing. The world was shrouded in a haze, the bud still promised wondrous powers, and I would break 1,000 flowers, with which all valleys were ablaze. Nothing I had, and yet profusion, the lust for truth, the pleasure in illusion. Give back the passions unabated, that deepest joy, alive with pain, love's power and the strength of hatred. Give back my youth to me again. The clown. You may need youth, my friend, in battles or in raids, when cannons roar and soldiers press you, or when adorable young maids put their arms around you and caress you, or when the wreath of honor glances far from the goal of a long run, or when, after impassioned dances, one drinks and toasts the rising sun. To raise the poet's well-known voice with grace in mankind's graceless choir, to seek the goal of one's own choice. With blessed erring, that, good sire, is the sweet duty of the old. And when we respect you, when you play your part, age does not make us childish, as we're told. It merely finds we are still young at heart. The director. We have enough analyses. Now I'm eager to see deeds. While you exchange your pleasantries, another's useful plan succeeds. Your talk of moods kindles no flame. The waverer always waits and loses. If you are poets as you claim, then prove that you command the muses. You know just what we need, I think. We want a potent brew to drink. Concoct it now without delay. Tomorrow, we still miss what is not done today. There is no day that one should skip, but one should seize without distrust the possible for with iron grip. Once grasped, one will not let it slip, but one works on because one must. You know the stage in Germany. Let's each do what he wants to do. Tonight, therefore, I say to you, do not spare our machinery. Employ the sun and moon, do not hold back. Use all the stars we have in stock, of water, fire, walls of rock, and beast and birds, there is no lack. In our narrow house of boards, bestride the whole creation far and wide. Move thoughtfully, but fast as well, from heaven through the world to hell.